Hi, I'm Kate and welcome to my channel. So I'm really excited to film today. I haven't filmed like a getting ready with me video in a hot minute, over half a year. But I was really excited because I did receive a new palette just the other day from Cosmetica. So look at the packaging. This is called the Druid Palette. The packaging is fantastic. It came with a little sleeve, feels really luxurious, really sturdy. And then the inside, it's so pretty. So this is like my dream fall palette. So I'm really excited to film with this. I don't even know where I'm gonna start, but this is what we're working with today. So I think I'm gonna swatch. I thought about doing like live eye swatches, but my skin is really sensitive, and if I start to do that, my eyes are gonna be watering and inflamed, and I won't be able to actually do a look. So I'm just gonna swatch them like on my hand and wrist. I don't see shade names, so I'm just gonna go row by row. All right, so the first shade is this pretty warm brown shade. Well, it swatches really well on the finger. And we'll start it up on the hand. So there's that first brown shade. All right, next up is a shimmer. I'm not gonna keep holding it up. This one is very like multi-chromy. It looks different from different directions. So there's that second shade. Oh, that's so pretty. All right, next up is like a deep teal. These are super pigmented. I'm only having to go one dip on these. All right, so that is the top row. All right, next row is starting with a couple shimmers. These shimmers are just super soft and buttery, and a really fun green shimmer. And kind of a pukey matte green. Again, like with the mattes, I'm really impressed with the matte pigmentation right now. Look at those. All right, and then the last row, starting off with a couple shimmers. This shimmer, first one down here, is really soft. And then the last shimmer, this one's a little harder pressed than the others. And then the last shade is one more matte, kind of a burgundy tone, really pretty. Not a color that I have much of. All right, so there are the 9 shades. This is stunning. I do like a best of season palettes video every season, so I'm assuming this will easily make it into my best of fall because these are just beautiful fall tones. All right, so before I get started with the actual shadows, I'm gonna go off camera, fill in my brows, put on some eye primer, and I'll be back. All right, so I'm all primed and ready. So I always go in with the Ulta brand eye primer. I've tried other high-end ones and they just don't have the staying power, and this is pretty affordable from Ulta. It's their store brand, so I highly recommend it. It's the matte eye primer in nude. All right, so with the palette, I don't even know where I want to start. I do think I want to use that top shimmer for sure. So now it's like, do I do kind of more neutral, warm, the brown burgundy and top it, or do I use the teal and the green? Because those look really fun. I think I'm gonna go ahead and go in with the dark teal first and just start to build that up on the outside. So they were really pigmented swatching. Sometimes that can mean they can be harder to blend, but we're gonna go on in. All right, super pigmented on the eye too. And I'm trying to go in very light-handed. I find that with deeper shades, I'd rather build it up than put on too much and have a hard time blending. So I'm gonna really go in slow and build this up. It's a really pretty shade though. I like how that's looking. I'm gonna go ahead and do the other eye to match. I feel like 9-pan palettes are like my ideal size. They're small, but you can get a pretty good variety if the shadows are well chosen. Some 9-pan palettes end up being, you know, nice, but just not a lot of variety. But this one, you know, I can already think of like 3 or 4 different looks that I would like to do with it. All right, so I have that all blended out. I really like that shade. I love greens and blues and teals. So I'm gonna grab like a slightly fluffier brush, and I am now going to dip into this pukey green. I'm gonna start to build that up in the front. I'm gonna maybe like blend out the edges of that darker shade. That's super pigmented. I don't know how well it's gonna show up on camera. I'm just gonna brush it over the edges out here. I'll probably go back in and build up that dark shade again. Those shades work really well together. This gives really like grungy vibes. I'm just gonna go in one more time with that darker shade and deepen it up again. Alright, so that's what we're working with so far. I'll probably be posting a lot of looks with this on my Instagram, so go ahead and check that out. Kate Joseph Glam, Kate with a C. Alright, but I think it's time for the shimmers. I'm gonna go, again, pretty simple today. Do I do a cut crease today or do I not? Sure, I'm gonna go ahead and carve out my crease. I use the Juvia's Place concealer. I don't like this concealer for actual concealing, but for a cut crease, it works great. So I'm gonna go off camera, cut out the crease, and I'll be back. I think that's as even as I'm gonna get with those. I feel like I wanna dip into this one right there. I think that would look pretty on the top. This one down here is like super green and also fun. Maybe I'll do the top one kind of more in the front, and then I'll blend it into the deeper shadow with that green. All right, so I'm gonna start with the darker shade, and I'm just gonna use my finger. I always use my finger for shimmers. I'm just gonna tap this out here. Where kind of that cut crease meets the dark matte. Like from some views this shade looks green, from some it looks kind of reddish. And now for what I think is going to be the star of the show, that top shimmer. Again, just taking it on my finger and tapping it in the front. These shimmers are super soft, which is what I like typically in shimmers. It means they're going to give more impact. They're super shimmery and dimensional, which I just love. These shimmers remind me a little bit of some of Tara Moon's shades, like especially their fall equinox shadows, just really soft, really dimensional. So if you like Tara Moon's singles, these actually feel really similar. Mattes too, really blendable but pigmented. All right, so I think I'm gonna stop there with the lids. I'm gonna go and do my skincare and then my base products, foundation and all that, and then I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. I did all my face products. Foundation, I'm still using the Fenty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. It's fantastic. Concealer, the One Size from the Patrick Star brand. For bronzer and blush, I'm using Patrick Ta. Any other details will be in my Instagram post with this look, hopefully. All right, so I'm gonna jump back into eyeshadow and go under the eye. So I'm just gonna start with that deepest teal shade and start to build it up. I have kind of a flatter brush for that. There's also a really nice mirror in this palette. I don't often use the palettes that come, or the mirrors that come in palettes, but it's nice to have like if you're traveling with it. So there's that teal shade built up. I'm gonna grab just a little bit of a softer brush and kind of buff that out with that lighter green. I think for the inner corner, I'm just gonna use that top shimmer that we used on the lid right here and drag it under a little bit. I'm gonna go offline and do my eyeliner and mascara. Then I'll be back to add a lip and kind of get my final thoughts. My camera stopped and started, so I'm not sure if it's like the same depth, but it's fine. I'm back, let's find a lip. I'm thinking to go a little more neutral just because the eye's really bold. So I do have one of these Fresh Kiss glossy lip stains from ColourPop. This is the shade Sugar Snap. So it's like pretty neutral of a color. Maybe I'll do that. I'm gonna grab kind of a brownish lip pencil. This is the shade Beeper from ColourPop. I really like ColourPop's lip pencils. They're really soft. And then I'm gonna go in with Sugar Snap. All right, so here is the final look. What do we think? I did try to take like a close-up of the eye look just to get the effect of that really pretty duochrome shimmer. It does not capture it in a close-up photo, so I'm hoping that, I think I'm gonna zoom in just for a second so you can see the final look a little more up close. I don't know if you can see kind of the shifts of those two shimmers that I used a little better close-up. The they're really pretty. All right, so just kind of my final thoughts on the Fantasy Cosmetica palette. I love it already. Like the shadows just perform beautifully. The mattes were super pigmented, but they blended out really easily. The shimmers are super soft, lots of dimension. Like this one, when I'm looking at it here, it looks very like reddish, but in the camera I can see it looks more green. This one from this angle looks very pink, but straight on it looks more greeny blue. So far, so good. I'm really excited to dip into some other shades, maybe do like a full-on burgundy look, maybe something more with that green shimmer, something a little more peachy. So definitely check out my Instagram. I will be posting quite a few looks with this in the coming days and weeks. But yeah, here's my first look with the Fantasy Cosmetics Druid Palette. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll see you soon.